been a lot of focus this week on asylum hotels and boat crossings, and we'll come to that. But it's probably worth looking first at the overall migration figures that include regular legal migration too. And you can see it's coming down. 30% fall in 2025 in these figures compared to the 12 months previous, down from the peak in 2023, but still a fair bit higher than 2019 and the pre-Brexit years. Now, what's driving that? Well, it's predominantly a drop in the number of work visas being given out. That's this bar here, the dark bar. You can see the big section in 2024, it's come down substantially in this set. That in turn is being driven by far fewer health and care visas being given out. For care workers alone, the drop is almost 90%. Now, a large part of that is because of reforms put through by the previous Conservative government, but Labour has also been putting measures through, and those should bring down the overall broader numbers eventually. If you look at the bottom, though, the bright blue bar down here, that is small boat crossings, and you can see it makes up a relatively tiny percentage of the overall migration figure. They're politically important, though, and this data shows that they have gone up 38% compared to the year before, close to the peak in June 2023. Now, that in turn has driven up asylum applications. That's the green line here. They are up to a record high. You can see the black line is decisions, initial decisions made by the Home Office. They're doing pretty well. It's higher than it has been, but because of the backlog of applications and more people appealing when they're rejected, that all pushes up the number of people that need to be housed. And that is what has been causing issues with accommodation. Until 2023, you can see here, most people, the green block, were in regular residential accommodation. That's where asylum seekers were generally going. But then you had small boat crossings picking up, asylum claims picking up, and hotels started to be used, and they are far more expensive. And we now know that 12 months after Labour took office in June this year, just over 32,000 people were in hotels, slightly down on where it was 3 months before, substantially down on the peak in 2023, but crucially 8% higher on 1 year before when the Tories left office. Now, if we look at how that breaks down regionally, where some of the people are going, if we look at Epping in Essex, where there was that hotel that was at the centre of the court ruling this week, you can see in March this year, 55 asylum seekers with half of them in hotels. Fast forward 3 months to June, though, and that number has gone up fourfold, with 90% now in hotels. We go to another area where there has been anger over hotels, Tamworth in Staffordshire, 183 asylum seekers in March this year, almost all in hotels. Fast forward again for 3 months to June, and you can see the figure has gone up 266, again, almost all of them in hotels. Now, there are plenty more places like this across the country, and I think what's alarming for the government is that many of those areas are also battlegrounds in the Midlands and the North, where reform is campaigning hard. So this data shows Labour hasn't got on top of the crisis in the asylum system yet, but it also suggests that if it can't, there could be dire consequences come the election.